Hey, how y'all doing? This is Hunt 919 True Sports, and this is a follow up to part one. This is part two of dealing with the Cormani McClain issue. We're going to pick it back up at the third thing I think could be creating issues for him. This is titled Football Issues. One of the things that can be bothering him right now is underestimating how much time that you actually spend at the football facility as a D1 Power 5 athlete, or as any athlete really. Quickly, you'll start to understand that you feel like you only have time for football and school for the most part. You go to football, you go to school, you might get your nap, do football, go to sleep for the night, wake up and do it all over again. You actually can do it so much that it feels like your days are running together. You may even forget the days of the week. I know when I first started, everything was going so fast for me. That'd be like it's Friday, and I was thinking it was like Wednesday, because I was so drained and so caught up in my sport, which was basketball, and the education part of it, keeping up in the classroom. You got the study halls, you got the training, the extra training, you got especially for football, you got the team meetings, etc. So that's one thing. He's also probably not used to truly studying his opponent. So you're talking about coming from the classroom as far as education, going over to the field, and now you got to truly study your opponent as if you're in class. I can almost promise you that most high schools, I know in high school I didn't watch any film. We didn't watch any film for the most part. We just did a lot of practicing. So that was one thing that kind of struck me too when I went off to school was study time, film sessions, and how long they can be. A coach would literally stop on every single point in one play. You also got to think about this. For the first time in 4 years, he's not considered the best on the field. So he's going into the field as a five-star athlete where they don't consider him the best cornerback. You got Travis Hunter for that. He's constantly hearing that Travis Hunter is better than him. And it's not hating. These are just facts. And as a freshman, you may not know how to deal with that. Some guys that you're going against were not five stars in practice, and they're killing you. You can't keep up with them, and you don't understand why. Now, as an ex-athlete, I understand you just a freshman. You got to come in here and earn it. I wouldn't look at you no other way, but the way he may be looking at himself is an adjustment. So he's adjusting to that. For the first time in 4 years, he's not considered the best player on the field or even on his team. Constantly hearing that someone is better than you at your position. I'm talking about Travis Hunter. Now, as if I was an older player, I understand, Travis is doing both sides of the ball. He's playing a lot of plays. He has these stats, et cetera, et cetera. But as a brand new freshman, he may be taking that a whole lot different than what y'all think he's taking it. He would never voice it, of course, but you can create some type of jealousy unintentionally dealing with that. Now, as time moves on, he'll learn to understand and respect it because he's probably going to seeing how much work that Travis is putting in the classroom and on the field. So hearing someone is better than you at your position is something new for him too. Being in practice and not being physically able to do some of the things you were doing just a year ago in high school with the same amount of ease. For instance, with his length, I'm sure they threw at him a lot and he was easily knocking the ball down. He could turn around and catch it. He could easily recover. Somebody beats him. He had the speed and the length to recover. But can you imagine being in practice and Shador, is a pinpoint accuracy type quarterback. So he knows how to place the ball over the shoulder, your left shoulder, your right shoulder. He knows how, 1-2 step, let it go. And by the time you turn around, the ball is in the wide receiver's hands. So he's adjusting to way, way, way better quarterback play, way, way, way better quarterback placement. And he's probably like, man, I was easily knocking balls down and turning around getting interceptions, the last 4 years, where now it's not that easy. Even Travis Hunter, I think he's tied for the lead on his team, only has 2 this season because it's not that easy. And then the better you get, the less they want to throw to your side anyway. But I'm sure the physical part of it is kind of weird to him because he's also going against grown men to a certain level. Guys who've been playing a long time, have had a lot of practices, can really affect him. That's the transfer portal. It's not freshmen that are transferring. They have seniors and everything that transfer to the University of Colorado. So he has to go against those guys. So he's coming from high school as a freshman to playing against some grown, experienced guys on the other side. Resistance at his position. What I mean by resistance at his position, he's fighting just to get onto the field. Guys he never heard of is better than him right now, and that's probably messing with his head. So now, before in high school, of course, he's starting. That was not a worry. The last 4 years, I'm sure he didn't really worry that much about starting. Now he's like, man, by the fifth or sixth game, like they getting ready to play USC this weekend, and we're all hoping he gets in. So you're talking about what, the fifth game of the season? He still hadn't gotten in. Well, he got in last game, but he only played 2 plays. So that can weigh on your mind too. Whereas you used to starting and playing, now all of a sudden you just hope you can get in your fifth game. And I'm telling you, if he gets in, I think he'll play well. It's kind of hard coming in your first game against one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, though. Expectation from a 5-star athlete. I think he's figuring out that a 5-star gets you there, but a 5-star doesn't keep you there. And I'm sure he's dealing with that now. Being a 5-star is a big deal in high school. It's a big deal to the fans coming in. But once practice starts, literally nobody cares, especially if you're not standing out your first couple of practices. You're just another guy to them with a lot of potential. And that's what it is. And guess what? Everybody that got recruited, everybody's told you have potential, which is all it is. And potential basically gets coaches fired. That's just a fact. You can have potential all day, but potential that doesn't grow into whatever stardom or whatever role that they're expecting from you. If it doesn't grow, then it's not nothing but just a word, to be honest with you. Better quarterbacks. He's now playing against, I just mentioned Shedeur. He's playing against, right now, Shedeur is one of the top quarterbacks in the country. So can you imagine as a freshman dealing with that? It's just hard. When you're playing against a quarterback who knows what they're doing and a wide receiver who knows what they're doing, it's hard for a cornerback. I think outside of being a quarterback, a cornerback has the hardest job. Most of the time, they have their back to the play. They're dealing with a guy with world-class speed that can run, that can cut, that knows where he's going. You're dealing with a quarterback who has great ball placement, can just throw the ball wherever he wants to, and that can be discouraging. You probably go through a couple of practices, and you're not having gotten an interception, or you probably feel like it's just to get a deflection. So, better quarterbacks. Disappointing someone that you looked up to. I'm sure when Coach Prime said those statements the other day, Coach Prime was kind of forced. They keep asking about him, so yes, he have to give an answer. But you have to look at Cormani's the way he's looking at it. He's feeling like he could be feeling like he's letting the coach down, and that's not just a coach. That's Coach Prime. So he knows Coach Prime thinks highly of him. What he doesn't understand as a young freshman is, man, you got 3 to 4 years to show Coach Prime he's right about you. You don't have to do it all now. I actually think you're lucky that he cares and that he feels a certain way, that you're not going to meetings and everything because he cares. Once a coach stops caring, you're on your way out anyway. So disappointing someone that you looked up to. Not only is it just your head coach, Deion is a famous athlete. It is what it is. Him thinking about going to the pros. I'm sure when they keep, and it's in the comments sometimes when you read under his name, everybody keeps saying he's going to be a draft pick one day, blah, blah, blah. If y'all don't think that affects kids, then you're lying to yourselves. I hate when we tell freshmen they're going to the pros. Let's hope he has one good game first. Let's hope he has a good week of practice first. Let's hope he has a good year first before we start thinking about pros. And I'm sure that's on his mind. They have pro scouts at his practices seeing him struggle. So that can weigh in on you. So the pro talk can really get to you too. Transfer. I'm sure it's come across his mind. What I would tell him is, listen, if you transfer, everything that's been said about you will travel. Coaches exchange information. Yes, somebody will pick him up, but they're going to tell him when he gets there, listen, man, we practice here too. We study here too. You got to go to class here too. We expect you to be here late. We expect you to be here early if that's what it takes. So he can transfer, but if he goes to another coach who cares about him, he's going to have the same rules and regulations. The same things are going to happen. So that's what that is. And I want everybody to think about this in closing. A lot of us athletes, pro, little league, whatever you want to look at, when we dealing with something that's bothering us, our escape is our sport. Okay, so imagine this. Imagine if your escape is what's causing you the most stress and most depression. Think about that. The thing you use the most to escape whatever you're dealing with, to get away from it, just to forget about it. And that same sport that you're using for that is the one causing you your most issues. It's causing you your depression. It's causing you your sadness or whatever that is. So you feel like you don't have any escapes from it. So we're going to and it would be nice if someone like Travis steps in and helps him and talks to him, or upperclassman. But somebody needs to step in and guide him in the right way. Let him know, man, you're a freshman. I went through this too. It's no big deal, man. By the time you through the middle of the season and going into your next season or the next summer, man, you can be worlds ahead of where you are now. These are growing pains that are necessary to get you to where you're going. Growing pains you need to feel, so you learn not to take this game for granted, and then make sure you don't take our praxis for granted. You need to feel this. This is actually a good thing. And then once you overcome this, man, sky's the limit. So let's pray that he gets in and that he produces like we all know he can produce. And good luck to Cormani. So I've covered 3 things that could be bothering him. I covered school, personal life, and football issues. This has been Hunt 919 True Sports. Ride with me.